Somebody hit you everywhere, but under your bill, damn under, about to hit you everywhere, but under your feet with this one. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I was just gonna say how easy it was for people to get on live, for me to get on live and start talking, but evidently it ain't that easy because I just messed up. But nobody's talk, no racism on this channel, just my opinion. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is, baby. And now Canelo Alvarez versus Bivol. And y'all, this is something I got to do. You know what I'm saying? I know I go on and on about different fighters in the sport of boxing. I got to stop doing it. I always say that, but I got to start making my videos about each fighter by themselves. You know, I can't keep going on and going on into fights. You know, but today we talking about Bivol versus Canelo. Got to give Canelo his respect. Canelo is the man right now. I know it's a war going on between him and Canelo. Him and Terrence Crawford about who is the number one pound for pound king and this, that, and the other. I wish that would stop. I wish that one man would just be crowned. I will say at this point, and y'all know I like Terrence Crawford a lot, but Canelo is the pound for pound king at this point. He is the pound for pound king at this point. I give Terrence Crawford full credit. Terrence go out there and give us, amazing fights. You at the edge of your seat every fight Terrence in. Canelo, yeah, you could criticize some of the ways he went and fought and got his undisputed belts and all that, but at the end of the day, Canelo Alvarez this man fought. I didn't know Canelo fought 4 times in 11 months. I wasn't adding it up like that. For him to be a big name fighter, that's something like what Tevin Farmer just recently did, fighting like 5-6 times a year. But I know he rushed the process because a lot of people say he had, mediocre competition who had the titles, but he still went out there and fought them dudes. They ain't give him them belts. You know what I'm saying? Even though how I feel about the Caleb Plant fight, I feel like Caleb Plant gave that fight away. He sold his belt. If y'all think I'm BSing, you can ask Bushido. We got clips on Facebook. He saw it. I shared the clip where Canelo Alvarez is clearly throwing a punch that's going past Caleb Plant's face, and Caleb Plant just falls back like he been hit. It's on Facebook. Y'all know that. But as far as when it comes to the sport, man, Canelo, he the shot caller. He the man. I give respect to him for fighting Bivol. I don't think Bivol is an easy opponent. I think Bivol is a hard opponent to get in the ring with and beat. I know people want the Benavidez and people want the Charlos. And one thing I noticed that they didn't mention nowhere yesterday, Demetrius Andrade name was still nowhere mentioned among any of those fights. All I heard was Charlo, Benavidez. I even heard the Macaboo guy brought back up. The Bivol. One thing I don't like what Canelo said. Canelo said that Bivol was the next best opponent at light heavyweight. Come on, Canelo. Really, Canelo Alvarez. Really, we gonna do that. We really gonna do? No, he's not the best of all the 175 pounders. Better Beeve is the best. Thank you, baby. Thank you, baby. That's my wife. Afternoon. Good afternoon, Ronna Fingley. I just want to give a shout out to my wife, man. She made me feel real special yesterday. I thank you, baby. I appreciate you. Now I got to start, I got to make my baby feel special. I'm gonna be a little bit more finer, baby, when I get a haircut. Right? I'm a little rusty right now. But I give him credit for fighting Bivol. Bivol ain't no easy opponent. He bigger than Canelo. I know a lot of people, Kovalev was bigger than Canelo, but I talked about that fight. I felt like that fight was a certain way. And people be thinking, because I say, people got to understand, entertainment is rigged. All right? I know y'all be looking at me when I make stuff about Canelo having rigged fights, Kovalev fight being rigged, Joshua versus Ruiz being rigged. Y'all, it's true. This been a known fact. I've been trying to deny it. I've been in denial about the fact that boxing rigged because I love it so much. But Canelo have rigged fights. But I'm not gonna talk about how I feel about the sport. I'm gonna just talk about the way it is. That's what I'm gonna start doing, because I lose the love for it like I've been doing lately. But as far as the face, the man, Canelo is the man right now. He is the man. He earned that spot. Canelo came before Terrence. Terrence a hell of a fighter. Terrence next in line. If Canelo get clipped, if he lose the Bivol, his spot gone. But I got to give Canelo Alvarez his I got to give him his crown, man. You got to give the man his crown. He done accomplished more than Floyd Mayweather. Not as far as like he been undisputed before, the biggest thing in the sport of boxing. So no, I never say Canelo Alvarez is a better fighter than Floyd Mayweather simply because he lost. But as far as legacy and what this man is doing, if Canelo go up and get, he destroying Floyd as far as legacy, y'all. And that's just being real on legacy. I ain't say he was a better fighter than Floyd. He could beat the fighters that Floyd fought. None of that. All I'm saying is the man got the crown, bro. He got the crown whether we hate it or we. Because see, I looked at it like this. Even with my criticisms of Canelo Alvarez, what if that was a black fighter? What if Canelo was a black fighter? Will people still have that? A lot of criticism, and don't get it twisted. I know it's a lot of Mexican brothers and sisters who have problems with what Canelo is doing. But I'm just saying, from a black person's point of view, we'll love to sit up and criticize, oh, Canelo ain't doing this and Canelo ain't doing it. Floyd didn't do it. Floyd didn't give us every fight we wanted at the time that we wanted. So why is it like I felt like I understood what Canelo was saying? He was like, now that I'm in position, I got to crown. Everybody telling me I should do this, I should do that, I should fight. And he like, for what? For what? And I felt, no lie, y'all know how I go in on Canelo Alvarez, man. But I felt what he was saying, though. Why I got to fight them? They don't offer me nothing. They don't offer me nothing. He was like, why don't they fight each other first, and then I'll fight one of them? The only sad part about that situation is Demetrius Andrade has left 160 to pursue a fight with you. But what Demetrius Andrade has to understand, I love Demetrius Andrade as a fighter. I rocks with Demetrius Andrade. But Demetrius Andrade has to get that big name. Hopefully he'll fight Benavidez. They say that's gonna happen this summer. That'll make either one of them more credible for that fight. But I feel what Canelo is saying. Fight each other first and quit calling my name out. Stop hollering my name out. Draw me to you. Let me see. Afternoon. Cool, easy work. Did you hear the sanctioning bodies are making the Bivol versus Canelo won't be for a belt? I doubt if that's gonna happen. That shouldn't be. Now, if it ain't for a belt, you know, he could have went and tried to holler at Better Be. He could have. If it ain't for a belt, then he could have might as well just fight David Benavidez or somebody else. If it ain't for a belt, what's the point? I thought it was for the belt that Bivol had. If it ain't for a belt, then David. That make it look like you just running and ducking now. Russia is enemy now, even if Bivol doesn't condone the war. I talked to Demetrius Andrade the other day. He is fighting 2 fights at 168 and then the title shot. True Media. Okay, Chalo is saying nothing. Andrade doesn't work for the promoter. They work for him. It's a difference. True, I understand that. Ron Finkley, you must be in the back. Are you a trainer? You got what you be involved in boxing like that? You say you talked to Demetrius Andrade? Yeah, but his promoter ain't promoting him. This was the same promoter, Mr. Eddie Hearn, when he came back there backstage after the post fight to holler at Canelo about a fight. His promoter sent him there telling him this ain't the right time. Demetrius, this ain't the right time for you to be doing this. You my damn promoter. But then you also got to understand too, he is Canelo's promoter too at the time. You know, it is. I wouldn't say it's disrespectful because this has been going on in the sport of boxing so long to where you have to go and challenge your opponent. Um, I wouldn't say the timing was bad. You know, I got to take that back. The timing wasn't bad. That was his opportunity to go out there and call him out. So, you know, but when your promoter is sitting there telling you, you know, no, this ain't the right time for you to be calling him out. How y'all expect for Eddie Hearn to even push the issue for him to fight Demetrius Andrade? He's not pushing the issue at all. I hope people understand that. See, so Eddie Hearn is so happy to work with Canelo Alvarez. He ain't finna push no issue on no Canelo talking about who he should fight. You already heard him say Canelo and Anthony Joshua are my two easiest fighters to deal with. That's because he don't put no pressure on them. He don't make them have to fight nobody. I'm in different groups. He was on the Twitter live talking. Showtime was in there. And a Demetrius Andrade support team. Yeah, but even though you pay a promoter or a promoter you should go after it yourself. Even Bernard Hopkins said that to Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius, you got to go at that dude and be consistent. It's a clip where Bernard Hopkins is telling Demetrius Andrade, if you want the spot, if you want that shot, you have to make him give you that shot. Basically, you got to be a Roberto Duran. You got to be disrespectful. You got to be a who the guy Let's Go champ, Shannon Briggs. You got to show up where he eating. You got to show up to his gym. You got to make his fans say that he's scared of you. That's how you get the fight with Canelo Alvarez. You get to the point where every time he can't go nowhere without your name being mentioned. He go to the bathroom, he get a text message with your name in it. You see what I'm saying? It got to be, and sad to say, he might have to do something very disrespectful. He might have to do something disrespectful to get the fight, just to be, you know what I'm saying? But that's the way it's going to have to work in my eyes, because other than that, he ain't going to get the fight. But I don't know who to say is going to win, though, between him and Bivol. I have to, look at both of the fights and see, of course, everybody going to ride with Canelo Alvarez, but I don't think Bivol no pushover for Canelo Alvarez. If they got a good training team, a good trainer over there with him, which I'm sure he do, I don't think he got to do is pace himself and he could beat Canelo Alvarez. That's all Bivol really has to do. One thing, he said something in his interview that let me know this dude is really coming to win. And he said something like, what did he say? He said, you can't beat Canelo Alvarez just because you got fast hands. He said, just because you got power. He said, to beat him, you're going to have to use a lot of other tricks up your sleeve in order to beat Canelo Alvarez. He said, I'm not going into this fight looking at the fact that I'm a 175-pounder and I probably hitting him bigger than him. He said, that don't matter. He said, you're going to have to use all your tools to beat him. Now, he said, not a consistent jab ain't enough just to beat Canelo Alvarez. So by him already saying that, I knew then that Bivol really has intentions to go out there and fight. So I can't really say who's going to win, but I will say that this is a good fight for Canelo Alvarez. It's a good pick. It got to be for that title shot, though, because if it's not for that title shot, you could have gave us David Benavidez. You could have gave us David Benavidez if you out there fighting for no belts. If you ain't fighting for belts, you could have gave us Benavidez, Andrade, or Charlo. Now, the only reason I'm saying I'm giving you your props is because you going up and you getting the other belt. So I don't know. I can't really criticize Canelo Alvarez at this point. But if it ain't for that belt, I'm gonna criticize him because you could have gave us something. But it's already signed, y'all. It's signed, sealed, delivered. He yours. So it ain't nothing we could do about it. All right, baby, I love you. But I ain't. Bivol looks strong though. That's one thing we got to admit. Bivol looks strong. Bivol is a big dude. He looks solid. I think Bivol can beat him if Bivol train right. If And I say this, I got to say this. I know y'all be hearing me say this all the time about Canelo Alvarez. Your trainer has to know that Canelo Alvarez only fights damn near 2 minutes out of each fight. 1 minute and 57 marker, Canelo Alvarez starts fighting. If you let Bivol go out there throwing all them punches from 1 through 5 rounds, just trying to keep Canelo off him, he gonna be tired. And he might lose to Canelo Alvarez because Canelo knows how to conserve his energy now. And got us bring it up. And plus, Canelo be using them steroids. All right? Now, one thing we do got to pay attention to. Pay attention to this. After Canelo been busted for steroids, we ain't never seen Canelo get tired like he used to. Canelo really don't get tired like he used to. Canelo used to be a 5-6 round fighter. After he got accused of steroids, got caught with Clenbuterol or whatever it is in his meat, next thing you know, Canelo going 12 rounds. And he always had a problem with stamina. So, that's just being real. So, if I'm being real, I do got to bring back. Does the steroid, does him being caught with steroids in his system, does that destroy him being pound for pound over Terence Crawford in y'all opinion? Because they got Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez bumping heads about pound for pound. And due to the fact that Terence has never been caught, do that give him the spot over Canelo? Never know what's in the contract. So, yeah, that's good, Kings. What's good, Darren? How you doing? This is a little different from Caleb Plant. Oh yeah, this is majorly different from Caleb Plant. Yeah, I think they're going to put a rehydrate clause no more than 180. Man, if they got all that going on, rehydration clauses and all that, come on, man. That ain't right. That ain't right. If you moving up, move up. Move up. Move up. If you're gonna really move up, move up. Don't be going up there doing no rehydration clauses, trying to have this man coming in frustrated and not at the right weight, tired or out of don't do that. Crawford has Canelo in that department. Crawford got 6 belts and he never weight bullied. I like that, Ronald. I agree with you on that. I never looked at it like he never weight bullied. He never got caught either. My prediction is Canelo will lose, but Bivol will get robbed. But because he lost, because it's popular to hate the Russians, especially in this time. Oh, that's a good point. I like that. Jerome basically saying, due to the fact that we finna go to war with Russia, Canelo gonna lose, but gonna win on the scorecards. And which I don't like the fact that the fight is in Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? That's Canelo stomping grounds, so the pound for pound stars, a big name star stomping ground. Canelo is more marketable to keep the belt than Bivol. So in my prediction, whatever happens, Bivol is going to have to knock out Canelo Alvarez. It ain't going to, in Las Vegas, and like you just stated, he a Russian guy? Hell nah. Hell nah. He Russian too? No, he better knock Canelo out. If not, I don't care how close it be, y'all. We just seen what happened with Josh Taylor, right? We just seen what happened with Josh Taylor. The whole world saying Josh Taylor got beat up, but guess what? Josh Taylor's can sell them belts. Jack Catterall can't sell them belts. So, I agree with you on that. It won't matter. Bivol is a small light heavyweight. Yeah, he said that himself. He said, He said he's not, and that's thank you for saying that because I supposed to wrote that down and brought that up. That could be one of the reasons he got picked as well because they know that. See, people got to understand this when I be saying this too. Boxing, just like boxing is professional boxing is like the streets. Like everybody know everybody business, and if you don't know it, somebody will tell you. I'm sure Canelo Alvarez now they scouted and they look who's the most who who's the fighter at 175 with the least risk and a reward. And they were looking, well, Bivol ain't naturally a 175 pounder. So he probably the best one to go after Canelo. So, it's just like the street. They know they got people that sitting in their gym scouting, or what did he doing in the gym? Oh, he ain't trained today. Like Floyd used to do that. Like he called Berto out. He was like, I know Berto didn't train last night. It's always a spy somewhere in the camp. It's always somebody on somebody else's team know the inside scoop of what you doing or what you ain't doing. Joe Smith is the weakest at 175. Because Bivol beat Joe Smith, right? So, I feel like, that was the... Do Canelo Alvarez still hold... He still holds Kovalev's old belt, right? Don't he still got Kovalev's old belt, Canelo Alvarez? So that'll be a unification fight at 175, right? Because I've been hearing Joe got a belt. Joe Smith got a belt, right? So Bivol got two. Canelo got... Hold on. Bivol calf muscles are huge, and that jab is hard, but his style jumping in and out worries me. You're right. Like no more than regain 5 pounds after weigh-in. Yeah, because if Canelo still has the 175-pound title that he took from took from Kovalev, it's supposed to be a unification fight unless he let it go. Can I read the one question before Joe Smith? One question before Joe Smith. I like the point that you made about Stats fighting in Vegas. If Spence, this big star, why don't he fight outside of Dallas? Because they're going to cheat. Dallas always cheat for their fighters. And I can't go in on that because I told y'all I'm going to start separate my videos because I can make 5 extra cents off another video. You see what I'm saying? But so they could cheat. That's all. That's the reason why that fight's supposed to be in Las Vegas. This in Dallas because they gonna cheat. That's why. They gonna cheat for Spence. Believe that. Bivol has never seen the amount of money he's getting for Canelo. So if Canelo said no more than regaining 5 pounds, he would probably be happy as hell. He gonna accept damn near anything that he put out there anyway. Like you said, it is one of the biggest paydays of his life. So that's one of the reasons. Like I said, Canelo is a shot caller because you had to go back to the way Floyd did it. Floyd, when he fought Oscar De La Hoya, had gloves chose. He had everything chose against him. He had to go out there to become the king. It's no different when it comes to Canelo Alvarez. So a lot of people need to stop crying and acting like little babies because Canelo is doing the same blueprint that Floyd did. He doing the same thing. Floyd sitting there talking that trash, but it was plenty of times Floyd had David Benavidez out there and we asked Floyd, will you give us this fight? No. Business, business. That's all we hear. Business, business, business. I don't fight for belts. I don't fight for, gotta give Canelo his credit now. I go in on him, as y'all seen in this video, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. You better believe that on my end, on what I feel. It's crazy, but I can't stand Canelo. But hey, it's business. Funny because he was my favorite fighter. Yeah, like I say, it's business, man. He got the throne. He do what he want. We done seen it from time and time again. Time and time again. Either who you think between Tank and Josh Taylor? I got Tank by knockout. That boy got big dog in him. Hell no. Hell no. I still got Josh Taylor beating Tank. I still got Josh Taylor beating Tank. Jack Catterall was undefeated, y'all. I mean, he wasn't no pushover. I know. I'm not finna. Even though Josh Taylor lost to Jack, I'm not finna. No. Tank, no. No. Josh Taylor inside game too strong for Tank. The only reason Jack really beat him because Jack Catterall and them stopped. The reason Jack Catterall beat Josh Taylor is because he used the jab and did not allow Josh Taylor to fight in the inside because that's his bread. I said that, bro. Josh Taylor will beat up Tank. He'll beat Tank. Tank too small. He don't got Jack Catterall reach. He gonna have to fight shoulder to shoulder with Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor is gonna beat him up like he did Regis. And I ain't saying he beat up Regis, but he gonna outscore Gervonta Davis in that shoulder-to-shoulder phone booth fight style. His jab ain't long enough to keep Josh Taylor off him, nor do damage. He is a 135-pounder who go up to 140, who really, in my opinion, is a 140-pounder, but he just too little. Yeah, Josh Taylor would smash that boy. Hold up, what you say? Big booty, heavy. What the fuck? Oh, you know I'm gonna keep doing that, bro. You know I'm gonna keep telling the truth now. I'm gonna keep telling the truth about this sport. But Canelo, if this fight, like I said, ain't for the title, Canelo got the fight. Well, it's signed. It's over with. It's over with. We can't from now on. Really, y'all. For really, y'all. We can't talk about no more of a Benavidez, Demetrius Andrade Charlo fight for the next 5, 6 months, 7 months. There's really no point anymore. He's already signed to fight Bivol and then Triple G next. So all the Canelo Alvarez talk about Andrade fighting, and even though we want it, there's no point in talking about it until almost next year because it's not going to happen because he signed up for other fights. All right? Yeah, he giving the public Triple G. Y'all been begging for Triple G. He getting you Triple G. He getting you another good name fighter before Triple G. Now, I go in on him, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, dude doing something all right this time. He doing something all right this time. Now, we keep talking about Benavidez's and Charlos, y'all fight each other. That's the best thing he said that I'd agree with Canelo when he said that. He said, why do I have to fight them? He said, they don't have nothing to offer me. And even if he is talking in the point of, I don't want to lose to them, give him a reason to lose to you. Fight the other champions. Fight the other champion. I mean, you got to really look at it, though. Even though Canelo went and took David Benavidez's belt, he didn't beat him or fight it for him. He don't really owe David Benavidez no fight. I mean, under the lines that you went walking around with his belt on and you didn't fight him, yeah. But what has David really done to really deserve a fight from him? Now, that takes away nothing. I know it's still a marketable fight. In my opinion, Cinco de Mayo, that would have been a hell of a payday for them, you know what I'm saying, to fight that fight on. But it ain't Canelo's fault that you lost your belt on the scales. Now, I will say this, if David Benavidez would have kept this title, never lost on the scale, Canelo probably wouldn't be undisputed right now. He would have never went up that route. Because y'all got to remember, before Canelo Alvarez ever became undisputed, he said that he wasn't fighting no Mexican fighters. Remember that? Or no Latino fighters or whatever. So this was before that process. But if David would have never lost that title, Canelo would not be undisputed at 168. I was just so very disappointed in Caleb Plant. I was so disappointed in Caleb Plant, man. I thought Caleb Plant. I can't put no more hold on or no more hope in Caleb Plant, man. Hell of a fighter, but bro, you had everything to beat Canelo Alvarez, and you sold that man. But I can't go into all that. But he know what he did. He said, nah, Easy, you're a Floyd fan, right? Tank is just reaching his prime, and we see a boy who got flair in him and mirrors Pretty Boy. Yeah, he mirrors Pretty Boy, but Pretty Boy fought competition. Pretty Boy fought competition. Not all the competition that we want, but he had names. Tank ain't got no names like Pretty Boy. We just assuming that Tank is a pretty boy. No, we got to see if he really is a pretty boy. All that looking good and pretty and fighting like Floyd, that don't mean nothing to me. I want to see you fight good competition. You just look like he ain't playing in the face. I trust Errol was a mean mugging as you usually do. Errol, I got to make another video on Errol. No, I told you I can't. It take away from I don't make much money on here, so I have to spread my videos out. I can't go on one video talking about, you know what I'm saying? So I got to spread the videos out. Andrade could too as well. What you talk about? Andrade could too as well, Darren. The only guy I think beats and probably will stop Canelo is Beterbiev. I think it's. I don't know. I don't think it's just Beterbiev. I don't think it's Beterbiev. We gonna see, man. I agree. Pretty Boy fought competition, but Mario Barrios was not no cakewalk, and he stopped him. Barrios gave Q. Man, Mario Barrios was bought and paid for. This man threw a jab. Tank, little arm ass, came over his jab and knocked him down. Man, that fight, come on, man. That boy sold that belt, man. That boy sold, just like I said in that fight. Look at the shots that Mario Barrios was taking from a bigger Keith one-time Thurman. Was Tank hit him like that? Was Tank hitting him as clean and as hard as Keith Thurman was? That boy sold that belt to Tank, man. That boy ain't come out there to win. That boy threw a jab and Tank counter over his shoulder, a glancing jump hook over his shoulder, and this boy went down. Keith Thurman was nailing that man with hard shots and couldn't drop him. Man, disfigured the man nose. And Tank jumping. Come on. Was Tank hitting Mario Barrios as hard as Keith Thurman was? And Keith Thurman could not knock that boy out. But Tank could stop him. That boy was under Mayweather Promotions, TMT, Al Heyman. That boy sold that belt. Easy, it was just a cheap shot. Tank did hit him hard to the body. Man, I'm telling y'all, bro. I ain't finna. I'm gonna stay off Tank. Y'all remember the Barrios moved up the way he had more. They had 10-ounce gloves, Barrio versus Keith Thurman. I don't know if Keith Thurman gonna fight either one of them, Val. I hope he go step up and fight somebody. But he's saying he going to WBC, right? He might fight. The best next fight for Keith Thurman is Virgil Ortiz. He need Virgil Ortiz next. Virgil Ortiz is a mandatory for Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. titles. So if Keith Thurman gonna fight anybody, it need to be Virgil Ortiz. Y'all give me 1 second. Yes. We back. Let me see, Darren. Virgil Ortiz overrated. I don't see anything special about him. He a strong fighter. I don't see nothing special about him either. He fight like Oscar Valdez. He decent as hell, but I don't see him beating Crawford or Spence. I don't. I don't even see Virgil Ortiz beating Boots. Boots beat Virgil Ortiz, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Boots can beat him. I'm gonna tell y'all, just like I predicted, I predicted and I told y'all about Josh Taylor. Virgil Ortiz Jr. can be beat with a consistent jab. It don't even take much to beat Virgil Ortiz Jr. I'm telling you, if you have a jab, you can beat Virgil Ortiz Jr. Robert Garcia went from the most talked about trainer, now has nobody, don't even want to hear. Don't even want to hear about him anymore. Sad. I think it's because these fighters want to they want to jump ship. They want to go to the highlighted trainer. They want to figure out how to cheat too. So that everybody jumping ship. They don't want to go to a real deal trainer like Robert Garcia. Robert Garcia, even though I think Robert Garcia is racist sometimes, he's a hell of a trainer though. I see when fighters get with him, they become different fighters. Marcos Maidana and many more. The only fight I ain't really see him could do nothing with was like Brandon Rios. Like Brandon Rios had just his own way of fighting. But I have seen fighters go with Robert Garcia and if they didn't become a greater fighter, they learn something different in a fight. Like Marcos Maidana is the only fighter to ever catch Floyd Mayweather's pull counter. He almost knocked Floyd Mayweather out after Floyd tried his pull counter on him. Who you think showed him that? Robert Garcia. Robert Garcia showed him about that pull counter. Boots need to fight better competition. Easy, you gotta agree. Once you get experience, that boy finna be deadly. Hell yeah, I ain't never say Jaron Ennis wasn't deadly. Hell no, I ain't never say he wasn't deadly. He is deadly. He can switch, big as hell. But he at welterweight. He don't supposed to be at welterweight. But hey, if you can make the weight, you can make the weight. I know I say that I go in on Boots about him being too big, but he make the weight. But see, I don't want to hear 2 years from now, a year and a half from now, if Boots go get a fight with EJ or Virgil Ortiz or anybody and say, oh, I was too big, I won myself, I don't want to hear that. Because I've been telling y'all, Boots is too big. But back to come on, y'all. We got to go back to Canelo. Well, let's go back to Canelo. You know, I got to save all that talk for other talks. Robert Garcia trained Canelo. I remember Ford calling Robert Garcia a bum as a trainer for the Canelo fight press conference. You know, one thing I don't, you know, like what Robert Garcia did was about that glove situation with him and Marcos Maidana. That made me lose a lot of respect for Robert Garcia at that time when he did that. Y'all hit that like button if you're watching, please. Y'all hit the like button. Hitting that like button is like giving money, baby. Y'all hit that like button for me. Yeah, I lost a lot of respect for him trying to do that slick underhanded shit with them gloves. You find Canelo, he ain't boring to watch to me. Canelo is he got skills. I love to watch fighters with skills. I ain't saying he got all the skills in the world, but he got a good skill set. I like to watch him. I like how he make boxing, you know, the defense, head movement. Random question. Why was Roy Jones Jr. style so unique to the nowadays shoulder roll and high guard, which is dominant nowadays? Roy Jones didn't need none of that. He ain't need a high guard and all that. You know how to ghost in hell with a cigarette? Oh no, you talking about blow them O's? I do that by mistake. I do it by mistake. But you know, back to Canelo, and you know, I got to get off in a minute, y'all. Because I got to put my phone on charge and come back on about the other fights. But like I said, to me, Canelo Alvarez is a shot caller, deadly fighter. Shout out to him for fighting Bivol. I know we all want to see Canelo versus Benavidez and Charlo and Andrade, even though Andrade's name wasn't mentioned nowhere in the press conference. But we got to hold that talk down. We can't talk about that talk until next year. Damn near next year, y'all. This man is signed up for 2 fights. This fight gonna be in May. The next fight probably gonna be in May, June, July. Probably August or September. That's gonna drive the whole year for Canelo, probably. So we can't talk about the fights that the public want to see with Canelo till later on this year. Triple G next. I like to see that fight, even though Triple G then got older. Triple G has gotten older, seeing a little. You know, now you want to fight him now 4 years later. You want to fight Triple G 4 years later. But hey, he giving you the fight. He giving us the fight. Yeah. Canelo do got a little streak. But then, you know, when they go to talking about Canelo and black fighters, y'all, he did fight Daniel Jacobs. Now, I know that was a while ago. That was like, what, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago? But when people say that Canelo don't fight black fighters, he did fight Daniel Jacobs. Took him a long time because Daniel Jacobs was calling out Canelo Alvarez for a long time, but he did fight Jacobs. He did do that. But I don't know, as the fight get closer, we go to seeing training videos and who doing what, even though training videos don't really make a difference, I like to see the controversy and what people say. I go by what you say, how you look, and you know what I'm saying? Look into a man's eyes, hear what a man say. That's who I determine gonna win and much more. But I will be checking for this fight. Don't know who I'm gonna be going for. I think that it's best probably to, on paper, it's best to go for a Bivol, bigger fighter. Canelo coming in his weight class trying to beat him. To me, you should go with Bivol, but we're gonna see what's gonna happen on the journey to come to the fight come. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Magnetic, you just killed me with that one. That's why I'm happy I have real boxing fans on my channel, baby. Thank you for saying that. He said, Canelo fought Jacobs after Golovkin beat him. Good point. That's a good point. He didn't run up until, yeah. Good point. Thank you, Magnetic, for that. You're right. He didn't fight him until after. Like he must did the Michael Garcia. I see something. I see something. Yeah, he had to do the Michael Garcia. But I will be on later on, a little later, talking about Ugis versus Spence. You got to watch me some clips on that. And y'all know I'm going in. Y'all know I'm going in on that. But I just ask y'all to stay tuned. You know what I'm saying? I thank y'all for y'all love and y'all support. Y'all know where to go into the description. You go subscribe to the new channel if you want to show the channel some love. You can also do it there in the description. But please hit that like button before we get off. Everybody who watching, please hit that like button before we get off. I told y'all, the like button helps a lot, ladies and gentlemen. But, y'all stay tuned. Once again, I thank y'all for y'all love and y'all support. This your boy, Easy Work. I'm coming on later with the Ugis versus Spence press conference talk, how I feel about that, my opinion of that. And y'all just comment, let me know how y'all feel, what y'all want me to talk about, and we'll get to it. It's Easy Work. I'm out, baby. Hit the like button before you go.